Legends like Smokey Robinson, Lamont Dozier, and Otis Williams have shaped the very fabric of music history, proving that true artistry knows no expiration date. Even now, well into their later years, they continue to create, perform, and inspire, reminding the world why they are the original pioneers of soul, R&B, and Motown magic. One such legend is Lamont Dozier, born in Detroit in 1941. His name is inseparable from some of the biggest hits ever recorded. As part of the legendary Holland Dozier Holland songwriting and production team, he was the creative force behind Motown's golden era, churning out unforgettable hits that defined a generation. Back in the day, the Supremes were at the bottom of the label's roster, but everything changed when Dozier and his team penned Baby Love, Stop, In the Name of Love, Heat Wave, Reach Out, I'll Be There, and countless other classics. His work wasn't just about creating chart-topping songs, it was about crafting anthems that transcended race, time, and culture. Inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1988 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990, Dozier's impact on music is nothing short of legendary. Then there's the powerhouse vocalist Martha Reeves, born in 1941, the electrifying frontwoman of Martha and the Vandellas. With a voice that could ignite a revolution, she delivered high-energy anthems that still get people moving. Dancing in the Street wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural movement, a call to unity and celebration. Nowhere to Run captured the essence of inescapable love, while Jimmy Mack remains a timeless melody of longing. But Martha's influence didn't stop at music. She stepped into politics, serving on the Detroit City Council, proving that her voice could change the world both on and off the stage. And even now she continues to perform, keeping the spirit of Motown alive. Another legend who refuses to fade is Otis Williams, the last surviving original member of the Temptations. Born in 1941, he remains the heartbeat of a group that set the standard for harmonies, choreography, and style. The Temptations weren't just about music, they were about culture, bridging gaps and bringing people together at a time when racial divisions were rampant. With hits like My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and Just My Imagination, they became the soundtrack to an era. Through decades of lineup changes, personal tragedies, and industry shifts, Otis held the group together, proving himself to be not just a founding member, but the soul and guardian of the Temptations' legacy. And let's not forget Ronnie McNear, born in 1951, a name that may not be instantly recognizable, but whose voice has graced some of the most beloved records of all time. As the last surviving member of the Four Tops, he carries the torch of a group that defined Motown's signature harmonies. Stepping into a group that had already made its mark was no small feat, but Ronnie did more than fill the shoes of legends. He brought his own unique touch, ensuring the legacy of the Four Tops lived on. His contributions extended beyond performing, as he later dedicated himself to teaching and mentoring young musicians, proving that his passion for music was about more than just fame. And of course, there's Smokey Robinson, born in 1940, a man whose voice is velvet, whose lyrics are poetry, and whose influence is immeasurable. From fronting the Miracles to crafting timeless hits like The Tracks of My Tears, Tears of a Clown, and Cruisin', Smokey's music has touched millions of hearts worldwide. Even now he continues to perform, proving that true legends never fade. They only grow stronger with time. Few voices in music history have carried the raw emotion and elegance of Smokey Robinson. Whether as the lead vocalist of The Miracles or as a solo artist, his songs have left a lasting imprint on millions. Tracks of My Tears captures heartbreak so profound, it lingers long after the music stops. Ooh, Baby Baby is a plea for forgiveness, so moving it could melt even the coldest heart. Then there's Cruisin', a track that embodies the simple joy of being with someone you love. A melody so smooth it practically begs for the car windows to be rolled down and the wind to rush through your hair. But Smokey wasn't just a performer, he was one of Motown's most prolific and influential songwriters, penning classics for some of the biggest names in the business. My Girl for the Temptations, My Guy for Mary Wells, and Don't Mess with Bill for the Marvelettes. His contributions shaped an entire era of music. Another timeless icon, Dionne Warwick, redefined what it meant to be a pop star. Born in 1940, she brought an unmatched level of sophistication to music, transforming songs into deeply emotional masterpieces. She didn't just sing, she told stories, shaping each lyric with a nuance and phrasing that made her voice unforgettable. Collaborating with Burt Bacharach and Hal David, she turned tracks like Walk On By, I Say a Little Prayer, and Do You Know the Way to San Jose into musical treasures that still resonate today. Even in a room filled with other stars, Warwick had a presence that was impossible to ignore. But if Dionne Warwick embodied grace, then Gladys Knight embodied power. Dubbed the Empress of Soul, her voice carried the kind of depth and emotion that could stop an audience in its tracks. Whether leading the Pips or standing alone, her performances never failed to captivate. Midnight Train to Georgia was a tale of love, sacrifice, and chasing dreams, sung with a vocal delivery that remains breathtaking. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye took heartbreak to its rawest form, while her soulful reimagining of I Heard It Through the Grapevine brought a new level of intensity to the song. Her voice was a force of nature, and her influence on the industry is undeniable. Some legends made their mark behind the scenes, yet their impact was just as monumental. William Mickey Stevenson, born in 1937, was one of Motown's first A&R executives, responsible for discovering, developing, and shaping countless artists. He recognized Martha Reeves' talent and helped transform her into the star she became. He co-wrote and produced Dancing in the Street, a song that evolved into a defining anthem of an era. His work behind the curtain helped steer Motown into an unstoppable powerhouse of creativity. Beyond Motown, Southern Soul had its own unsung architects, and few were as influential as William Bell. Born in 1939, he was one of the first signings to the legendary Stax Records in Memphis, shaping the sound and spirit of the label. His debut single, You Don't Miss Your Water, became a soul standard, covered by Otis Redding and the Byrds. The song captured regret and loss in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. Even decades later, Bell's influence never faded. His Grammy-winning 2016 album, This Is Where I Live, and 2023's One Day Closer to Home proved that his voice, his storytelling, and his passion remained as potent as ever. Yet some voices, while just as powerful, have been overlooked by history. Maxine Brown, born in 1939, may not be as widely recognized as some of her peers, but her voice was a force to be reckoned with. She delivered a string of stunning hits in the 1960s, including All in My Mind, Funny, and the Carole King-penned Oh No, Not My Baby. Whether singing as a member of the Cookies or standing in the spotlight on her own, Brown's ability to convey deep emotion was unmatched. Carla Thomas, the undisputed queen of Stax Records, played an instrumental role in shaping the Memphis soul sound. Born in 1942, she emerged as one of the earliest and brightest stars of the legendary Stax Records label, carving out a place in history with her smooth yet powerful voice. It all began with her debut single, 'Cause I Love You, a heartfelt duet with her father, Rufus Thomas, that became a regional hit and put Stax on the map. But it was her solo work that truly solidified her legacy. Songs like Gee Whiz, Look at His Eyes, BABY, and I Like What You're Doing to Me became massive successes, showcasing not just her vocal brilliance, but also her undeniable charm. She even teamed up with the great Otis Redding, their voices melting together seamlessly on classics like Knock on Wood. Yet Carla Thomas was more than just an artist. She was a symbol of Memphis soul, embodying a sound that was both gritty and polished, raw yet refined. She paved the way for young Black women, proving that success in the music industry could be achieved on their own terms. Carrying forward her family's musical legacy, she became an icon in her own right, ultimately earning a place in the Memphis Music Hall of Fame in 2013. Her journey, one of talent, persistence, and influence, remains nothing short of legendary. Now let's talk about a voice that transcended genres, a powerhouse whose music was both a call to action and a beacon of hope, the one and only Mavis Staples. Born in 1939, she stood on the front lines of social change, using her music to uplift, inspire, and challenge the status quo. As a core member of the Staple Singers, Mavis delivered timeless anthems like "I'll Take You There," "Respect Yourself," and "If You're Ready, Come Go With Me." These weren't just hits. They were statements carrying messages of hope, empowerment, and equality during the height of the Civil Rights Movement. The Staple Singers weren't just a musical group, they were a movement, a force for justice and progress. Their song, "Why Am I Treated So Bad?" was one of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s personal favorites. Through collaborations with Bob Dylan, Prince, and Wilco, Mavis continuously evolved, pushing boundaries while staying true to her roots. Her career serves as proof that great music doesn't just entertain, it transforms. Now let's enter the wildly eccentric, deeply soulful world of Swamp Dogg, born Jerry Williams Jr. in 1942. This man refused to be boxed in, seamlessly blending soul, funk, country, and blues with humor and biting social commentary. While not a household name, his influence runs deep. His music has left its mark on artists ranging from Kid Rock to The Roots. Starting his career in the 1950s under the name Little Jerry Williams, he saw moderate success, but it wasn't until the 1970s, when he reinvented himself as Swamp Dogg, that he truly found his voice. Albums like Total Destruction to Your Mind, Rat On, and Cuffed, Collared, and Tagged became cult classics, filled with funk-driven grooves, psychedelic undertones, and razor-sharp lyrics. Switching gears, let's talk about the Iceman, the man who defined the smooth elegance of Chicago soul, the legendary Jerry Butler. Born in 1939, Butler was one of the founding members of the Impressions, the group that gave us soul-defining classics like For Your Precious Love, Gypsy Woman, and It's All Right. His deep, rich baritone perfectly complemented Curtis Mayfield's soaring tenor, and together they created music that endured for generations. But Butler wasn't just a group singer. He was a formidable solo artist, delivering an endless stream of hits in the 1960s and 70s. Tracks like He Will Break Your Heart, Only the Strong Survive, and Ain't Understanding Mellow showcased his incredible vocal control and heartfelt delivery. Even as musical trends shifted, Butler remained a respected figure in the industry, proving that timeless talent will always shine through. Stepping back into the early rock and roll era, let's pay tribute to a man who gave us one of the most iconic songs of the time. Gene Chandler, better known as the Duke of Earl. Born in 1937, Chandler skyrocketed to fame in 1962 with Duke of Earl, a song so universally catchy that it became a defining anthem of its generation. It wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural moment, a track that cemented Chandler as a star. But he was far from a one-hit wonder. Over the years, he released a string of successful singles, including Just Be True, Nothing Can Stop Me, and Groovy Situation. He continued to thrive well into the 1970s, adapting to changing musical landscapes while staying true to his smooth, signature sound. We have to shine a light on a group that perfected the art of sophisticated soul, the Chi-Lites. For over 5 decades, their music has remained a symbol of elegance and emotional depth. And one man has been at the heart of it all, a voice that has carried the group through the years, keeping its legacy alive. The Chi-Lites weren't just another R&B act. They crafted songs that were pure, heartfelt storytelling, their harmonies weaving tales of love, heartbreak, and resilience. Marshall Thompson, born in 1942, is nothing short of a living legend. As the founder and driving force behind the Chi-Lites, he helped craft some of the most timeless slow jams in music history. Tracks like Oh Girl, Have You Seen Her, and The Coldest Days of My Life weren't just songs. They were soulful experiences, perfect for slow dancing, deep romance, and getting lost in the moment. Even today, Thompson remains at the forefront, still performing these classics for audiences worldwide. He's not just a singer, he's a pioneer, a true godfather of vocal harmony groups, ensuring that the Chi-Lites' legacy endures. Another name that defines smoothness is Russell Tompkins Jr., born in 1951. His silky falsetto became the defining sound of the Stylistics, one of the greatest soul groups of all time. From You Are Everything to Betcha by Golly Wow, from I'm Stone in Love with You to You Make Me Feel Brand New, his voice is the ingredient that makes these tracks timeless and irreplaceable. He once shared that he had always dreamed of being a musician, initially wanting to play an instrument, but fate led him to use his voice as his ultimate tool. Today, Tompkins remains an icon, still capturing hearts with that unmistakable sound. Then there's Fred Cash, born in 1940, an essential member of the Impressions. While Curtis Mayfield often takes the spotlight, Cash's deep baritone and lyrical contributions were equally vital. The Impressions weren't just a vocal group, they were pioneers of socially conscious soul music, delivering anthems of hope and resilience like People Get Ready, Keep on Pushing, and Amen. These songs weren't just about music, they reflected the fight for equality during the civil rights movement. Cash's versatility and songwriting skills shined on tracks like Minstrel and Queen and I Loved and Lost, proving he was more than just a voice, he was a storyteller. Shifting to funk and rock, let's highlight Ernie Isley, born in 1952, a guitar virtuoso who helped redefine the Isley Brothers sound. Originally rooted in doo-wop and gospel, the group evolved, incorporating elements of soul, funk, and rock, with Ernie leading that transformation. When he joined in the early 1970s, the Isleys were entering their most experimental and groundbreaking era. Tracks like That Lady, Fight the Power, and Summer Breeze showcase his mesmerizing guitar work, proving that he wasn't just a musician, he was a game changer. No discussion about musical longevity is complete without mentioning Bobby Rush, born in 1933. This blues icon has kept the genre alive for over 6 decades, releasing more than 400 songs throughout his career. Known for his raw, electrifying performances, Rush blends soul, funk, and storytelling, bringing a unique edge to his music. After years of being overlooked, he finally won his first Grammy in 2017 and followed it up with another in 2021. Today, Rush remains a national treasure, proving that true blues never fade. Next, we spotlight Clarence Carter, born in 1936, a soul blues powerhouse responsible for unforgettable hits like Slip Away, Patches, and Strokin'. His music tells stories of love, heartbreak, and resilience, resonating deeply with listeners. Slip Away became the ultimate cheater's anthem, exploring the temptations of infidelity, while Patches painted a heartfelt picture of perseverance in the face of poverty. And then there's Strokin', a track so infectious and bold that it remains a party favorite to this day. Now let's talk about an artist who's finally getting the recognition she always deserved. Bettye LaVette, born in 1946. Despite decades in the industry, it wasn't until recent years that she started receiving her long overdue flowers. With a voice that's raw, full of pain, and rich with wisdom, LaVette has been compared to Aretha Franklin and Tina Turner. Yet her style is completely her own. Every song she sings is transformed, as she injects her own emotions, her own experiences, making each track feel lived in and personal. A true master of interpretation, LaVette proves that age only refines soul music. Now let's shine a light on a Memphis soul legend, both behind the scenes and in front of the microphone. Don Bryant, born in 1942. While many may not instantly recognize his name, Bryant's songwriting genius has shaped the careers of countless artists. He's best known for writing I Can't Stand the Rain, a hit for his wife Ann Peebles that became one of the most covered soul songs ever. But Bryant wasn't just a songwriter. His own smooth, expressive voice made him a standout performer, proving that he was just as skilled behind the mic as he was with a pen. We also have to pay tribute to Barbara Lynn, born in 1942, a triple threat who made history as one of the few Black female artists of the 1960s to write her own songs, sing lead vocals, and play the guitar. And not just any guitar, she was a left-handed guitarist, making her presence even more unique in a male-dominated industry. Her biggest hit, You'll Lose a Good Thing, wasn't just a song, it was a statement. It spoke of strength, self-worth, and the courage to walk away from a love that isn't working. Her influence paved the way for countless female artists, proving that women could dominate any space in music. Finally, we end with a queen of the Philly dance scene, Dee Sharp, born in 1945. With hits like Mashed Potato Time, Slow Twistin', and Do the Bird, she became one of the first black female teen idols, proving that youth, talent, and success could go hand in hand. She didn't just make dance records, she created moments. Mashed Potato Time captured the energy and excitement of a dance craze and turned it into a cultural phenomenon. Following up with a string of other dance anthems, Dee solidified her place in music history, showing that fun, rhythm, and soul can live forever on the dance floor.